Hey y'all, welcome to another video on the Luderco Arms channel. Today we are going to get started on building a keyboard stand that will be mounted on one of these carts that I rebuilt in another video, and turning it into a synthesizer cart. So I got a bunch of metal already cut out to some of the different sizes I need. I'll need a bunch more, but this is for the basic outline of it. I have some notes and plans. I took a bunch of measurements off of the Syn cart they currently have, which is made out of plywood and not really, it doesn't do what we want it to do. It's just a big old monstrosity, and it's heavy, and it doesn't work that good. So I'm going to get these pieces. I'm going to start jigging them up on the table here and start tacking everything together. So let me get this jigged up, the first part of it, and I'll bring you back. Good morning. All right, I got this first side piece tacked, or well, jigged up. I'm going to tack it all together, and then I'll have to scoot it over some to put the other piece on, because this table's not big enough for that. But let me get that all tacked together, and then I'll bring you back. We'll put the other side on and put the bracing in it, and then we'll make another one. So let me get that done, and I'll bring you back and show you. All right, we got that all tacked together. I went ahead and welded it other than the back side, and now we've got it screwed over on the table, and we got the last piece clamped in. This piece is a slight angle. It'll look right when it's all done. The front's square and the back kind of angles up towards this angle here. Anyways, let me get that welded on, and then we'll pop that out of the jig, and while we got everything in place, we'll jig up the other pieces for the other side that's exactly like this one, and we'll weld it together. And once we get that done, then we'll make sure they're both the same. So I'll be back. All right, we got one side done. Now we're going to jig up the other side and do it. And if we did everything right, we should be able to lay it on top of that one, and they should match. And then we'll put a couple of cross braces in that big section, and the two sides will be done. And then we can build the front. So take a bunch of that, jig it up here, and hopefully when I come back we'll have two sides that look exactly the same. All right, so now we got the second one built, and now you can see they're sitting one atop the other, and they are exactly the same. So these are going to be the two sides of the synthesizer stand or keyboard stand, and they came out good. The only bad thing is it's raining out there, and I don't like to run the grinder and the wire brush inside the shop here because I don't like getting abrasives all over my machine tools. So we're pretty much at a standstill for today. I guess the next day I come back, hopefully it'll be not raining, and I'll be able to take these outside and clean them all up. Hey y'all, welcome back. It's another day. We're still working on this synthesizer cart or keyboard cart for the school band. So I've got all these pieces cut out of this cabinetry 1/4-inch plywood, and little pieces here too that go on it. Those are going to fill in, be the filler pieces in here. And once we get, they're cut out rough, they're little, I got to do final fitting and everything, but right now I'm working on, I got to make the tabletop that the keyboard will sit in, and I got to make another little shelf that will hold some kind of wireless microphone doohickey. I don't know crap about band stuff. I just know what they told me they wanted. So I've got these pieces here. I'm fixing to tack this together and then weld it and make the little shelf. And I'll bring you back when we start taking all these pieces and hooking them together. And hopefully making something that resembles a keyboard cart. So we'll be back with that. Alright. So I've been working all morning. I got this part finished. It's the that's the part that the keyboard and stuff will actually sit on in this cart. So that's all built, and then I cut a piece of wood to go with it. That'll go, kind of hard to do one-handed. There we go. That'll fit in there like that. And then I made this piece. This is the other shelf. I know it doesn't look like anything but two pieces of metal right now, but trust me, that's the shelf. So now I've got most everything ready. I need to clean all this mess here up, and then we'll start assembling all of these sub-assemblies, and it'll finally start to look like something. So let me get this area here cleaned up, get everything out of the way, and I'll start getting all this clamped together so I can start tacking it together. And once I get it tacked together, then I can put in all the little tabs for holding these holding the wood parts in the frame. And once I get that done and get the wood parts final fitted and drilled, then we will paint everything. So that's probably not going to happen today, obviously, but we'll see how far we get. So I'll be right back. All right, so we've got this all clamped up. So now we'll go ahead and tack this top part in and weld it, and then we got to weld a gusset in the bottom of each one of those corners right there. Once we get that done, then we can cut. I've got some round stock that's going to go in each corner here. We'll cut that, get it welded in. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to make a brace from the center here down, because one thing you got to remember when you're building stuff for high school kids is they're probably going to try to sit on the damn thing, because that's just what they do. So let's get to work tacking this all into place. Alright, we got the top tacked, so now I'll get some gussets and put in these bottom corners and get that. So let me grab some gussets, I'll be right back. Well, I don't remember where I left off filming this, but I got this all, this part, this much is welded together now. So that's all in. I put a brace across the bottom and a brace going up in the middle right here. And the reason for that, I wasn't going to put that in there because I'm trying to make this thing as lightweight as possible, because we always have to move it around on that trailer right there. But I also know that high school students have a tendency to sit or stand on anything around them. So I figured I put that brace there, and now with that brace there, I can sit my fat ass on this thing, and it doesn't flex or bow or bend. So that should be good. And it's still light, because I can still pick it up with one hand there. And then the wood going on, it's this little 1/4 inch. So it should be nice and light, especially compared what we had before was the same dimensions front to back, but it was probably, I'd say 4 feet longer. It hung off of both ends of one of those trailers before I cut it down. And it was made out of 3/4 inch plywood and 2x4s. And it was heavy. I mean, a real SOB to move. So this should be a major improvement. And honestly, look a lot better too. So now that that's done, the next step, I also added some gussets down there in those bottom corners on each side. Keep everything kind of squarish. So the next step is going to be to fit up all these wood panels. And the wood panels are going to go in all these spaces on the front and sides of this. Here, here, and then on the side here, here, and here. And so what I'm going to do is weld little tabs here, so that I have a place to put some little 1032 screws and nuts and bolts. I ordered a bunch of them from McMaster Car that are all black, so they'll match this thing. And once we get those tabs in place, then we can final fit each piece of wood and go ahead and drill the holes in them. Once that's done, then we can paint all of that, paint all this. I also need to I got to put some tabs on the inside here at the bottom, one on each side and then one on each side here to bolt it down through that expanded metal on that trailer right there, so that it'll be nice and solid. So that's going to be it for today, though. I got to go feed my animals, feed the goats, and get some dinner and all that good stuff. So we'll continue on with this hopefully tomorrow, but if not, it'll be next weekend. We got to get it done, so we got a couple other trailers we got to get done for them, hopefully before May. So a lot of work to do. So we'll see you in the next part of this video. Y'all have a good one. All right, y'all. It's another day in the shop working on this never-ending project here. So I come up during the week and I welded on some tabs in the bottom. That'll end up being where it bolts down onto that expanded metal on that trailer right there. So that's good. And that'll keep, even though this thing kind of rocks, this is a combination of it not being perfectly flat on the bottom and my floor not being perfectly flat. But none of that'll matter, because once we get it bolted down, it'll be fine. So now we've got to, I got to make 2 corner pieces to trim up these corners, and then weld in all the tabs to hold the panels in. So the corners I'm going to make, I got this, I think this is a 7/8 OD bar here. So I'm going to cut it at an angle right here and weld a cap on it, and then weld that in each corner, something like that. So I'm going to get busy on that, and once I get that done, we'll start welding tabs. So let me get these bars cut and we'll be back. Okay, now we've got the round parts done, and you can see it's got a little angle cut at the top and then fits in each corner. And that's not necessary. I just thought it made it look a little bit more finished. So now that that's in, we can start making tabs and fitting up all the panels, and hopefully get this thing to a point where we can start painting it. So let me start on that. Alright, y'all. Well, I am fixing to knock it off for the weekend. I have completely underestimated how long making all of these tabs and welding them in was going to take. So I got that one side done there, and this front side is all done. So I got one side left, and then I can start fitting the wood pieces. But all that's going to have to wait till next weekend, because my back is killing me from bending over this thing all day for yesterday and today. I'm fabbing up each tab individually. So we're going to call it quits, and we'll pick this video up next weekend when hopefully we finally finish welding all these tabs in. Could have made this a lot easier on myself by just putting one long piece of plywood on it, but I don't think that would look as good. I think when I finish this, hopefully the idea in my head will look as good in person as it does in my head. We'll see. So we'll pick this up in the next part of this video. All right, y'all. The sun is just peeking up. I have been up here since about 3:30 this morning welding on this thing, and the welding is finally done. All of the tabs are in to hold all of the wood. I went ahead and added the little shelf up here that they wanted. All the holes are drilled in the metal. And for the most part, everything is smoothed out and ground. I'm sure as I install the wood pieces, I'll find some more spots that I missed that I'll have to smooth out. But for the most part, that's all done. So now what we're going to do is, I already cut these wood pieces out. And so what I'm going to do is take each one of them and fit them up where they go, and get them kind of squared up, trim them however they need to be trimmed, like that. And then I'm going to drill the holes to match the holes in the tabs, and then smooth the edges out, and they'll be ready for paint. Once I get all the wood done, then we can paint this thing and then reassemble it. So that's what I'm going to do now. So let me get started on doing that. Alright, so this is the last panel that I had to hand fit. And it's fit, and all the holes are drilled for the screws that'll hold it in. And so I've got to sand the edges off and then paint. So you can see I've got all the rest of the panels that I've already done all laid out here for paint. So once I get this one sanded, then I will blow this out here and flip the frame over on its top and paint the bottom areas first, the parts that you can't see and get to real good, and the part on the floor. And then I'll paint the one side of these, and then it's going to have to dry for a few days, and then I'll come back and flip this over and repaint the other side. But I'm not going to bore y'all with footage of me painting, so what I'll do is I will bring you back when we go to assemble all these parts, mount it on that cart, and show you the finished product. Excuse me. So let me get this thing sanded and get this area cleaned up so I can paint, and I'll bring you back when we go to assemble, which definitely won't be this weekend because it's Easter weekend. So happy Easter, y'all. It'll be late by the time you see the film, but I'll see you in the next part of the video. Alright, y'all, it is Wednesday afternoon. You can see that's all painted. All the panels are painted. The new cart's all painted. So now it's time to get this mounted on this and get all these mounted onto it and make a synthesizer cart. And I've got to do it today after work because I did not realize that Friday is their last day of school before spring break. Spring break is 2 weeks, and I need this whole project out of my shop during that time so that I can put gears in the Cherokee. So I've got to get this thing put together. So let me get this set kind of here, and we'll see how this goes. One thing I know, I do not have enough room in this shop. Alright, I gotta cut a couple of washers down, so I'll be right back. Alright, now we're gonna start fitting all of the panels to make this thing into an enclosed synthesizer cart. And hopefully all of the measuring and preparing that I did has got all of this ready. So I'm just going to lay this one up here for now to get it out of the way while I do the rest of these. So this is the right side. All right. So there's the first 2 panels installed. So I'm going to go ahead and install the rest of them, and I'll bring you back and show you the final product once I get all these panels installed. There's no sense in me filming an hour of sticking little screws in the holes. You can see from watching these top 2 panels that all of my drilling ahead paid off, so everything's just going together now. So let me get this done and I'll bring you back and show you the final product. All right, we are all done. So now this is what it looks like. It's mounted on the cart, bolted down, everything's nice and solid. All the panels are in place. Got a kind of two-tone look. So I used the hammered tone black paint on the frame, and then I used satin black paint for the wood panels. And then I've got the large shelf there for the synthesizer to sit on, and the smaller shelf is for some kind of wireless microphone receiver thing that they have. And I put in the corner of each of these, I put a hole so that they can run the cables down through there. And that's all set. Bolted down solid, good to go. So now all that's left to do is come Friday, when I get off work, I will carry this up to the schoolhouse and drop it off to them, and hopefully they will get many years of use out of it, or at least one. My daughter's a senior, but there's no reason why this thing shouldn't last forever. That's a good solid metal frame. So I mean, the biggest thing, they'll have to just not kick out the dang side panels. But I made them out of that light wood because we want it to be light. We got to load and unload this thing out of trucks every time we go somewhere, so the lighter it is, the easier it's going to be on all of us. Well, that's it. Hopefully somebody has found this interesting or useful or entertaining, one of the 3. And we will see you in the next video. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good one.